Everyone, so I am I am Kirito Yui Asuna, and this is another episode of Captain Chaos. So today's video is a video that I've been wanting to do for a little bit, kind of get into my anime theme a bit, and the first thing to note is I do not own any of the anime I'm about to say today. Two, I am really bad at spelling, and so some of these are going to be spelled wrong. Also, they were written in a very small area. So yeah. The final thing is this is my own personal list of the top 5 saddest anime I've ever seen. Since it's what I've seen, and you've probably seen other ones, needless to say, this list is based on my own personal opinion. And therefore, I shouldn't have to tell you. If you got your own opinion, you're welcome to mention it in the comments, but don't go whining to me. Anyway, starting off, number 5. Number 5 is a toss-up between Kotor-sen, Tokyo Ghoul, and Berserk. So I'll give you a quick explanation on each of them. Kotor-san, the first one on the list, is about a girl who has psychic abilities. It starts off with her. She doesn't know about her psychic abilities until about halfway through the series. I mean, she knows about them. She doesn't know how she's able to do what she does, though. Anyway, so the first at least 3/4 of the series is actually really sad. But the ending is really not cool, so. And it's a romance one. Next one, Tokyo Ghoul. And yes, that is definitely spelled wrong. I have no idea how to spell ghoul. Anyway, so Tokyo Ghoul is about a guy who moved, and then he tried to get a girlfriend in the new area. Girlfriend turned out to be a ghoul, tried to eat him for supper, and well, a bunch of beams kind of interrupted dinner. And then the doctors just randomly decided apparently to stick the girl's organs inside him, turning him into a half ghoul. It's got a really, it's kind of sad, and it's also got a lot of different emotions thrown in. Final one is Berserk. Berserk is basically the exact opposite of Kotor-sen. The first half of Berserk is awesome. Well, the first episode is a little sad too, but then he basically gets accepted into the main character. Guts gets accepted into a new area, basically a new family, and everything's going great until the leader of the band loses to Guts, and then Guts goes out for a while because he doesn't have to stay around anymore. And as he's gone, Guts, or the leader of the band, loses self-confidence, gets sick. Guts comes back. Then the guy gets another chance at life. Unfortunately, that comes at the price of the entire guild, or alliance, or whatever you want to call it. So that's a semi-bad summary of each of these anime. But I'm not very ready for this video, honestly. But yeah, next one. Your Lion April. Now, this one may actually be sadder than some of the top ones, but these aren't necessary, except for number 5 and number 1. These aren't in order. So, Your Lion April is about a pianist who basically was bullied by his mom for a while. Then his mom dies, and due to grief, he decides he doesn't want to play the piano anymore. Or rather, he can't play the piano anymore. Then he meets a violinist, and she basically kicks his backside and gets him back at the piano. Meanwhile, then he ends up falling in love with her, but he can't bring himself to say it because his best friend also loves her. Anyway, so yeah. And then the girl he loves ends up dying anyway. So yeah. It goes from sad to happy to even happier to happier. Kind of throws a whirlwind of emotions in, and then ends on a very sad note. Number 3, Elvenlade. Elvenlade is about certain horn-ish girls with abilities. Basically, they have arms, invisible arms that can cut, dice, slice, block bullets, and do whatever random stuff a hand can do. There are 4, I believe, of them mentioned, and in the end, only one of them survives. And they're all killed off brutally. So, unfortunately, yeah. So, definitely watch it if you like sad. Watch any of these if you like sad. I mean, that's kind of the point of the list. Number 2, Clannad / Afterstory. More so an Afterstory than Clannad, but both of them are sad. So, Clannad, guy hates school, wants to skip school, doesn't like it, hates it. I kind of already said that. But he ends up enjoying it a little more once he meets his friend in Nagisa, who loves school but can't go due to an illness she has. With her in tow, the two of them meet new friends and enjoy their time at school a lot more. Right before graduation, she gets sick again with said illness and ends up missing the graduation. Afterstory. Said guy and said girl get married. Funny, and then ends up having a kid. And as the kid is being born, the mother dies. Father, with his heart full of grief, runs off, leaving the girl in the hands of her grandpa and grandma. Lives on his own and basically burns himself out every single day, with smoking and alcohol and stuff. And does that for like 5 years, I think. Finally decides he'll go visit his girl, meets with her. Apparently he's seen her since then, but not very much. Finally decides to be an actual father and take care of his daughter. 3 days later, she dies. And I don't think I'm even exaggerating there. In fact, that might be under exaggeration. It could have been sooner than that even. So yeah. Anyway, number 1, Angel Beats. Angel Beats is by far the saddest anime I've ever seen. Oh man, that was definitely not one to watch if you don't like crying. I nearly cried, and it takes a lot. Like, Angel Beats, Clannad Afterstory, and Your Lie in April are probably the only ones who've gotten even close to getting me to tears. To be honest, Kotor-sen was only down there because it's only halfway that way. Angel Beats is basically a bunch of dead people running around. and basically a video game afterlife, where at the main character is there because he can't remember what happened. When he finally remembers, he realizes that the girl that the people have been fighting this whole time was actually the person who got one of his organs. How she died before him, I don't know, but excuse me. But yeah, that was a really sad anime. And then at the end, when we finally thought that the guy and the girl that had been getting, that they were in love and stuff, well, she ends up being, I forget what the term is, but basically dying again. Dying again so that she could go back to the real world and be reincarnated. So yeah. Which just, to be honest, was the worst part of... Honestly, that was the worst part of the anime. So, and there you have it. My top, technically, 7 anime, but again, this was my top 5. These 3, that one is kind of a mix. Tokyo Ghoul is a mix. Kurotoro-san is the beginning, is the bad part, and Berserk is the ending, is the bad part. So, I figured that kind of equals it out. Anyway, so, until next time, Johnny.